Hey everybody. So I want to talk to you about a dream I had. And in this dream, I was watching this hockey team, and this was a hockey team that worked in unison together. And it was like you could see it, how they, whatever it was they were doing on the rink. It was very fluid, it was connected. And then the next time I went and saw them, there was something going on. It was like you could see they were not working together. You could see the threads of anger and frustration. And I'm like, that's really interesting. I wonder what happened. And then light caught one of the players' eyes, and I saw something. So I went up to the team doctor and I said, your team has got something going on. And so we went into the locker room during halftime, and I'm talking to this team doctor, and he's not believing me. And I said, I can prove it. And so we shined this special light into the eyes of this one particular player, and you could see these parasites. And then I was shown where this person would get infected, and then they would get angry and frustrated, and they would basically their spittle, if you will, or the energetics of it would shove this parasite into someone else, right? Maybe it's through the energies or the eyes or whatever the words are. And then that person's worldview would begin to change. And so what I realized was that like these parasites were hooking into the visual cortex and literally changing how you see the world. And then it was bringing up this just righteous anger and only being able to see things one way. And from that, you're wanting anger and revenge and there's like this just and you would have people, this was the same team. These were people who used to work beautifully together. But the minute they got infected was the minute they no longer could see eye to eye. They no longer could work together. It was almost as if they could not hear each other anymore. And so, I woke up from the dream and I'm like, okay, what was that? One, is it a literal parasite? No, I don't think so. I think it's more energetic. And then two, I said, well, is this current? Meaning, is this a new thing? Is it coming? And they said, no, it has been on your planet for a very, very long time. And I was like, oh, and they said, and it's going to get worse. They said that many people are going to, we're seeing where people have one view only. They cannot entertain other ideologies, other viewpoints. They just can't. And in them is this incredible anger and frustration. And it's righteous, right? Like they truly, from their worldview, how they're feeling, thinking, reacting, doing is 100% justified. The thing is, their worldview was changed and they don't realize it. And so, it was one of the things where they said to me, they said, all it takes is even one member of the family to start getting into this space of the hard, fixed views. And that, we've all met people who are just so incredibly angry. And how it infects the entire household. They walk in the door from work and everyone's like, great, and it begins to shift worlds because it changes how we view the world. So if I view the world fearfully, it's going to be a place to be feared. Same thing if I view the world as a place of, absolute hell, it's going to mirror that back. That's the nature of this simulation. And so this parasite, if you will, that gets into the visual cortex begins changing how we view the world, which then changes our interaction with it. So I said to them, I said, okay, now what? You've shown me this, now what? And they said, people need to begin really commanding and just saying to your highest team, wherever I am not clear, wherever I do not have clarity, wherever I am being influenced to view life and therefore respond to life inaccurately, let's move it out. And it's the call of complete and utter clarity. And I like to do a lot of breath work. So I bring in through the right nostril, what do I want to receive? And I let go through the left nostril. So I'll do the alternating nostrils. And so in my right nostril, I ask to receive full clarity. And on my left nostril, I let go of confusion. And so working with yourself that way and saying, I need to know, where could I be holding onto this parasite? It's a program. This program that gets in, wraps around how I create the world, how I view the world, how I react to the world, and just say, I need to know, where am I experiencing that? Where am I still in this illusion because it's not necessarily truth? And so, and as we see the world heating up over just different events, it becomes more and more apparent that it's different worlds. But what if there's a third option? What if there's a world that's not either or, and there's the truth that has been so squashed and layered and hidden, and then we've all had issues and not been able to see it? So it gives you food for thought and a way to work with yourself. So spend some time, talk to your spirit team, and just say, all right, if I'm holding anything that is keeping me from being as clear as possible, as open-hearted as possible, show me it. Help me see through this so that my worldview is reflected accurately. Sending you all lots and lots of love.